Hi, Aquarius. Welcome to Virgo season. This season for you already feels like a drawback. For most of you who don't want to be in certain situations, some of you might be ready to leave certain situations or just give yourself space from any situation you felt really close to in Leo season. We're also doing the readings a little different this month. I'm doing something called a compass reading, which is 5 cards, 1 being your body, which would be the strength card for you, then your mind, your heart, your spirit, and then the center compass and the focus. So this being in your body is that Leo season definitely was some exposure for you, and you may be ready for some time off from the sun, though just a lot happened for you that month in positive ways. But now Virgo season, you're just kind of like, okay, I'm ready to draw back in a little bit. I'm ready to come back in. Though for those of you who are working or focusing on a direction, it's for the drawback isn't because you don't, some of you want to be antisocial, let's be real. It's for you kind of starting to plan things out. So now that you're kind of seeing everything as it is in your direction or wherever you want to go, and for those of you who are wanting to head in a different direction, for those of you who are ready for that, it's a great time to really sit with what you want, what you're looking for the years to come. And for some of you, it's already in motion. So some of you have already set this in motion. And then the Page of Swords in the mind. So yeah, this month is about not being too heavy on the mind, but every time something feels, or you feel like you haven't maybe taken care of a thought process, or something might be nagging at you. Some of you, it's just like this nag. So if something keeps coming up and it keeps coming up and it keeps coming up, it's time for you to maybe pay attention to it for just a moment. Because what happens, this is the thing with release and letting go. And it's funny that I'm telling you that because I'm in the middle of something with that right now. So just so you know, you're not alone. Releasing and letting go. When it's time to do that, it's going, especially in Virgo season, it's going to persist. The thought is going to persist. The feeling is going to persist. Whatever it is going to persist. It's going to persist so much because it wants you to feel it, engage with it, but mainly it's for the acknowledgement. So you and Virgo kind of, even though there is so much that you do in the grand scheme of things, and very detail oriented, as broad as you are, you can be very detail oriented, especially in this season. The acknowledgement that you should get doesn't quite get to you as often as maybe it should. And Virgo season is going to bring that up, and you might feel underappreciated in certain ways in your mind, and therefore it's asking you to really take a look, and it will keep coming back and it keep coming back and it keep coming back. And now you have the strength to either ask for what you need in order to receive that, but it's this conversation with yourself, this acknowledgement from you first, you know? And you may feel for some of you, you may feel very youthful in your mind, where this Leo season brought out this side of you, and it's not that you want to draw back from anything or anyone specifically. You're just wanting to take this and utilize this energy in the way that's best for you. And then the heart card is the world. So hold on one second. Okay. The heart. Because little do you know, the more that you utilize this playful, youthful feeling that you are now embracing more, what you've acknowledged allows that to come out even more. And therefore, in your heart, this there's an expansion, which of course may feel uncomfortable for you, because whether you know it or not, it doesn't matter if you're wanting to retreat and have your time alone this month. It doesn't matter, because whatever you're doing is going to be exposed to the world, but first it's exposed to you, because a cycle is closing, so something else is opening up, and it may feel very different. It may feel uncomfortable in a way that you've never felt before. So, and you've experienced that quite often, but because Saturn's in your sign, there's going to be a continuum of this. And this season's a great season to take a look at what's ahead, to take a look at what has been. So confusion to me is kind of like fog. It's the Seven of Cups. Sometimes that's how I like see it in my head. So for some of you, this cloud of confusion that has been persistent, and it's just kind of been lingering and getting smaller, is now going to be just very close. So that's why the focus can essentially be on what the body and the heart know together. For some of you, you are going to meet someone new this month, whether it is love or just in terms of money making. It's going to be someone who is helping shift the trajectory for you. There's an important meet, and you meet them through what happens, because you may go somewhere. So you can continuously go to the same places. You can continuously go to the same places over and over again and continuously experience the same thing. But when you shift and something changes within you, you go to that place and you might see someone new come in, or you might feel a change of energy. Something new might happen there, something maybe you wouldn't even expect, without leaving or going somewhere new. So some people get it confused, where you go somewhere new and then have a totally different experience. Well, you're going somewhere new, so you're open, and so therefore you don't realize that because you know you're going somewhere new, your mind knows that you may go there and have different experiences that you might not have wherever you live or wherever you stay most of the time, because you're so used to something happening. But when you start to shift and there's changes within you, you'll continuously go to those places, and you'll notice that there's also something shifted there. So, and for those of you who are having issues or having trouble with this, I say this to people, and this is something I have experienced myself. It's just like, you can be having issues, right? And you can go somewhere else, or, you think you want to move like a million miles away, and then you do, or maybe you're someone who tries it and you realize, oh, my problems come with me. And then maybe you start to attract the same kind of people. So the shift really comes from, and also, mind you, people can move and everything can change because you're wanting that change. But if you're just leaving specifically for thinking that getting away and so far away from someone or something or a situation is going to change everything for you, it's not. And it's hard to sometimes admit that, but for you, it's about knowing that the change, this came out in the spirit. So the change, the shift is gradual. The middle. It's gradual. Okay. So it's gradual feelings of even these bursts of intense openings and shifts within you. So these what can feel immature, but it's just what happens with what's happening with you. And it started on your full moon in Aquarius, the second one. This one was a lot lighter because it cleared up and dusted some things off for you. So when Mars moves into Libra on the 14th, you'll start to feel this communication that is a lot easier than you thought. For the first, week or so, you could be more in your head than you want to be, but what's important is that you do your best not to react to that nature. Mercury is going into Libra, so it might feel just like very like, okay, a lot of thoughts, a lot of processing, a lot of this, a lot of that. That's why you might want to retreat and utilize whatever energy that may be wanting to go elsewhere and somewhere that's not really beneficial for you. You channel it into something that is King of Pentacles, going to create stability in the long run. Because there's a few different ways that each of us can respond to and react to Virgo season. And for you, it's like a purposeful pause this month, because there's no need to rush for you. You know what's happening with Saturn moving through your sign. It's going to continuously move through, so you're going to continuously have these moments again of like, and then it's smooth, but it can feel so high in the moment. So when you're feeling that height of the emotion, you're feeling that height of what's happening, put it somewhere where it's helpful in this purposeful pause that you're having. It's almost some of you might feel very agitated too. For some of you specifically, you were exposed to something last month that you may not have been. It just came out of nowhere. And now it's like kind of closing up, but you may go through a short period of feeling very frustrated, agitated, and like, what the fuck? So just remember that when certain things come to an end, there's always that last resistance or that fight. So like, you want to fight it before you get exhausted and finally release it, or you want to ignore it or resistance, like, nah, it's showing up, it doesn't matter, it's showing up. But just remember, on the other side of things, that you gain that energy, that you allow yourself to stop exerting, fighting something that needs to go. So that's that. Okay. We'll take a look at the cards. All information to work with me one-on-one is below. And thank you for your support. We'll see you next month. All right, Aquarius? Hi, Aquarius. In the body, we have the Strength card. The mind, the Page of Swords. The heart, the world. The spirit, universe, guidance, King of Pentacles, and the center compass is the Knight of Swords. A lot of you are having these, I also want to preface this by saying I don't remember a lot about the first part. I did that a couple days before this part, so I'm sure it will all come together. The Strength card in your body is about you might feel very strong in your body, and you're going to need to this month, and be very present and understanding of that, because with Saturn going through your sign, you're going to need the strength, because you're going to have a lot of change, a lot of sudden, maybe even breakthroughs. Again, this it's funny because like Saturn is the father, and it's like this maturing and teaching you something and all of these things and the structure that we've been under and as a culture. And then coming into Aquarius, sometimes the way I feel about it is like you're going to be teaching Saturn something just as much, or Aquarius is. And so the Leo season was very clear to you about how much you need to be compassionate towards yourself, how much you need to harness the strength that you have, because you're going to need to use your words this month. You're going to need to use your words as well as your skills in a very physical way, and thinking about life in terms of how you live out your values. There's something maturing in your mind, but you may be able to get it across in a very casual manner. You're being driven, Knight of Swords, by this fast, sharp, intense vibe that Virgo can be, yet at the same time you feel so strong and taken care of. Some of you, your heart is ending a cycle, and it may feel like it's harsh, and it may feel like it was harsh and quick, but really it's been a while. You know that, and you know that when you get to the height of the emotion and the end of something, it feels so much more intense than it had felt while it's been happening, because that's how things close out for you. And what that's going to do is also open you up to, and around the world is all the fixed signs as you are. So Aquarius is up at the top left. Leo is also a fixed sign, right across from you. And that's how you are. You're right across from Leo, being at your opposite sign. It's become very clear to you in your nature to be so driven and so fierce, and kind of like you're almost in this place, like Virgo season. Virgos can be very, they may be very straightforward, but they have this part of them that remains mysterious to people who don't know them that well, or even people who do. They just, actually, I'm gonna refrain from that. But there's this new part of you that's emerging, or a part of you that you've been wanting to share with the world, and now it's coming out of you in a way that is so much smoother than you realize. Like, I think internally it feels a lot more intense than it comes across, which is so cool, because here you are at the bottom being grounded. There's a grounding, there's a sense of structure. This is also, that feels like Saturn. A lot of you, it's this breaking free and learning to take what the cultural norms have been and now implement your vibe into it. So this is a very expanded reading. It's a very I get this sense that you're going to feel more warmth this month, in a way that's not like the sun beating on you, but this genuine warmth. Yet there's this, throughout the course of the month, you're going to feel this like sharp breeze and this intense feeling to want to do something about it. So the advice is to do something about it. If you want to do something, put something out there, even if it feels very Page of Swords, not ready yet, not this yet. No, start it. That's the fun. That's the fun of it. So very much it's just time to begin fresh, new, ready, grounded, sturdy. Virgo season is here for it. And there might be some things you have to say in a way also that is harsh, but it's kind of what's needed in the moment, and that's what you're being asked to do in these coming years anyway. So you might as well just get used to it this season, because you're getting a taste of it. And your body is prepared, so your body feels, for some of you, it's coming back to this homeostasis, and it just feels so easy to maneuver. it feels so easy to stand firm in what you're saying, doing, feeling, becoming. It's a very what do they call people? Well-rounded month. A very well-rounded month. Some of you also may be there may be someone in your life who wants to make a long-term plan with you. It's King of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, bottom of the deck facing King of Pentacles, said King. You understand that you get the feeling this month of what the next year to 2 years is going to be like, and the shifts in the structure, in your own structure, but it feels normal to you, doesn't feel normal to other people. For some of you, this Knight of Swords look like it's attacking. Some of you have to be careful because some of you may be assuming about a Leo and may feel some type of way, and it might not be in your best interest to go about it. It actually would be rather unnecessary because it's like you're doing it as if they don't have a chance to turn around and look you in the face. So something that has happened in the past, even for some of you this is a past experience, that's going to come around for full circle as well. Yeah. Very interesting this season is for you. There's a lot of movement, but it's so secure in the knowing of change. And that's where I'll end it. All information to work with me below, Aquarius. I love you and see you next month.